We were fortunate enough to witness a threesome of leopards, which was a first for me, and Keegan and his guests were in the front row seats for an unbelievable encounter between the Ndzhenga males and one of their sons. So you know what they say, two's company, three's a crowd, and that's exactly what's happening this morning. We're now sitting with a little threesome of leopards, where we've got the ever impressive Nweti Male, the Ndzanzeni Female, and the Mashaba Female. So this little leap of leopards is a pretty phenomenal one to be in the company of. The Ndzanzeni Female is the last living female of the Mother Leopard lineage. The Mashaba Female is a legend in herself, and we put out a video recently on her and just how exciting it is to see her. And then the Nweti Male is probably one of the biggest leopards that we get to see on Londolozi. So having them all around here together is pretty exciting. To have them now mating as well is even more exciting. And it started off with the Mashaba Female coming out of the grass and trying to entice the male, and often with leopards mating, it is the female that instigates the mating bout. So she was trying, however, there was a little bit of hostility coming from the Ndzanzeni Female, not letting the Mashaba Female get too close to the male. Not much happened there, they all settled down in the grass again. And then it was the Ndzanzeni Female that decided to get things going, and they've now been mating repeatedly for the last 20 minutes, 30 minutes or so. The Mashaba Female then is tucked away under some grass, and she's now eventually revealed herself. Although she is a 16-year-old female, there is possibly a chance that she might fall pregnant again. However, it normally takes about 2 years for a female leopard to raise cubs to independence. And so for her to now be able to raise cubs somewhere between the age of 16 to 18 years old is probably quite unlikely. I'm not certain as to whether leopards go through the equivalent of menopause, and if they're even able to fall pregnant in their latter years of life. I'll have to go and do some research on that, and I'll put a little link below, or I'll put a little caption below to tell you exactly what happens. But so apparently leopards don't go through the equivalent of menopause, and they are in fact actually able to fall pregnant right throughout their entire lives. However, it does become somewhat more difficult the older they get to fall pregnant, and the litter sizes tend to be a lot smaller the older they are. Doing the research, I found that the oldest recorded leopard to have given birth was 16.3 years old. The Mashaba female is very likely to be able to fall pregnant. However, the chances of her successfully raising that cub or cubs is somewhat reduced, as it takes about 2 years for a leopard to raise a cub to independence, and if the Mashaba female is already 16, the chances of her surviving for another 2 years and raising it successfully is probably slim, but not impossible. The Ndzanzeni female is also looking pretty amazing. We can see that she's limping, but that's an injury that she's had since 2018, and it hasn't necessarily hindered her. I mean, she hasn't been successful in raising any cubs, but in terms of hunting and keeping herself satiated and well fed, that hasn't necessarily been a drawback. We do believe the Ndzanzeni female did have some cubs a couple weeks ago, but I believe she must have lost them if she's now mating this persistently with the Nweti Male. I guess it gives us a bit more of a reason to venture down into the very deep south of Londolozi to then try and find these, and in 3.5 months' time hopefully find a den either for the Mashaba female or the Ndzanzeni female. I know I mentioned this when the Maxim's male was mating with the Piccadilly female, but just the size comparison between a male and a female leopard is pretty astounding. We've now had all 3 of these leopards walk the exact same path, and I'll now just superimpose all of those clips on top of each other, and you can just see how much bigger the male is than the female. But they've settled down in the shade there. We've been here for nearly 3 hours, and so we're going to wrap it up, start heading back towards camp. But I hope you've enjoyed this pretty exciting, exhilarating morning with 3 incredible leopards. The Styx young male, or Styx Male, has been lurking around on Londolozi quite a bit over the last little while. He was born late 2020, early 2021 to the Styx Pride, who at the time was covered and was controlled by the Ndzhenga males when they were further south. However, the Ndzhenga males then sought out greener pastures, or whatever you want to say, and moved further north onto Londolozi, abandoning the Styx Pride and leaving some of their offspring there. However, this young male has survived, and he's now broken off and gone on a nomadic journey, being pushed out by the Ndzhenga males further south. And so that's seen him then now right on the fringes of Londolozi in the deep south. He then met up with the sister of the 4 Nsevu or Kambula males, however you want to refer to them as. She had left her brothers and was now roaming around by herself, and those two have now met up and have spent a substantial amount of time together. We then saw them one morning where they were found right up into the northern parts of Londolozi, just south of the Sand River, very deep into the Ndzhenga Male's territory, and also the Kambula Pride's home range, territory, whatever you want to refer to that as. So the young male was at risk of an encounter with his fathers or the dominant males in the area, and the female was at risk of an encounter with also her family, the Kambula Pride, because she broke away when the Ndzhenga males arrived, and they've had very little to do with each other since then. We are a bit baffled to see what's going to unfold between them. They are moving around quite a bit, and the male keeps looking back over his shoulder. We are in an area where it's pretty risky business being around here. Maybe the Ndzhenga males are somewhere to be found close by, and we'll definitely try and chase this guy out of here if they do pick up on his scent or at least come across him. Once again, lion dynamics has got us constantly guessing. However, Keegan and his guests then heard lions calling early in the morning, got down there to find the Styx Male, Styx young male, belting out some full-blown roars. However, those roars caught the attention of the Ndzhenga males, and he went marching in to an encounter that he was very lucky to walk away from. However, there's a lot more to discuss afterwards, so have a look at this.
Don't watch that, just watch this. You've seen the female on the road there, not the male at the termite mound.
Let's keep video. 5-minute video. Uh-oh.
Okay, he's gone.
Yes, he's booking it. Yes. Jeez, I thought he was coming up to the
So if we unpack this a little bit further, we know that they are related. However, there's been very little to do with each other since the Ndzhenga males left the Styx pride. As he was getting a little bit closer, the Styx male then noticed one of the Kambula females. That caused him to then stop. The Ndzhenga male obviously was very well aware of this young male approaching him. I'm uncertain as to whether they would be able to recognize each other just by sight from that sort of distance. But the Ndzhenga male then dropped down behind that termite mound, and you could just see his eyes peeking over. He had flattened his ears. By tilting his head up, that also then gets rid of that pronounced mane over the top. And he was just watching. And then eventually the Ndzhenga male broke cover. The Styx male then managed to spin around and try and get out of there. Imagine having those two male lions barreling right past the vehicle. Would have been a pretty intense moment to be part of. However, the Styx male then tripped, and what I would have imagined the Ndzhenga male, if he really wanted to drive home his authority or go for an intense blow, he would have dived onto that male while he was on the floor. However, he sort of brushed past it, and then they went running off into the distance.
Okay, he's gone.
Yes, he's booking it. Yeah.
The two females also then had a little go at each other.
Yes, you put it.
And after the dust had settled, the Ndzhenga male was fixated on staying with the young female, and he was trying to keep the older Kambula lioness away from her.
Yeah, there's a lot of aggression. You might have to try and protect her from this female. Watch her.
The Styx male then carried on running. Eventually got quite some distance away and started calling again, which now then, having the one bigger Ndzhenga male distracted by the females, the smaller Ndzhenga male then went charging in there to try and chase this young male away. So this just poses the question as to what's going to happen going forward. There is a chance that the Styx male then packs his bags and heads out of here, goes and finds somewhere else to set up. There's a chance that he might then join up with any of the younger coalitions around here. Slim chance of that happening, but things like that have happened in the past with the Nkahuma male and one of the Styx older males, the older Styx males. So it's not impossible. And there is also a chance, however also a slim chance, that the Styx male joins up with his dad's, or his father's, the Ndzhenga males, because that would bring a little bit of youth and agility to their coalition. However, this presents some risks and uncertainty as to the safety of the Kambula and Nsevu cubs, which has already started to transpire. This morning, being Thursday morning, it's believed that the Styx male killed one of the Kambula cubs and severely injured another one of the young males. So we hope that this is the last of the casualties that we'll see, but we're just going to have to wait to see what happens. But it's just a very interesting dynamic that's unfolding here in front of us, because also what's going to happen to this Kambula and Nsevu breakaway lion? Is she going to be able to join up with any of the prides around here? I would think so, but now that she's mating stock and the Ndzhenga males are wanting to mate with her, that could also change things slightly. So pretty exhilarating little turn of events there, and I'm pretty sure all of those that were there to witness would have had a significantly elevated heart rate by the end of that. But I hope you've enjoyed this virtual safari. Let us know in the comments section below if you're enjoying these longer format, sort of weekly summarized virtual safaris. And subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. Drop a comment below and tell us what else you're wanting to see and how else we can improve this content for you out there. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you all again next week.